one of the best kept secrets in our community is how exciting it is as it relates to having activities and events and places for people to see and things to do. And one of the entities that's responsible for attracting people to our community to display not only all these places and things, but also the hospitality that we are known for is the MaconBibb County Convention and Visitors Bureau. So today we have Mr. Gary Wheat, who is the executive director, president, and person in charge of the Convention and Visitors Bureau. And we're just going to have a fireside chat about all of the good things that are going on in Macon, and all the good things that are going on with the Bureau, how many people it employs, and what kind of economic impact it has, and what you or what we as citizens can do to attract more people and make this not only a livable community, but a community that other people want to come to and live in. This is a call to action.
A call to action.
I'm your host, Alex Habersham, and as I said, we have Mr. Wheat, who just came to us not too long ago. How you doing?
I'm doing well, Alex. Thanks for having me on the show today.
Thanks for coming. Tell us a little bit about yourself personally.
Well, personally, as you said, I just moved here from Colorado. I've been out there 8 years. I'm originally from Mississippi, so
okay.
I'm a son of the South, as they say, that culture. My family all still lives in Mississippi, so it's good to be back in the South. It's wonderful to be in Macon, and just a great opportunity. Been on the job about 5 months now, so very excited about the future that is Macon.
I've been hearing good things about
that's
what's going on. Now, the convention, and a lot of people don't understand the role of the Convention and Visitors Bureau.
Right.
Talk a little bit about what you all do.
Well, we're a nonprofit. We're a 501c6, so we're set up like a trade organization. And basically, our role is I boil it down to this: it's economic development light. In other words, we're charged with going out and supporting our hotel and our restaurant and our retail and our attractions. So we invite visitors into our city, and obviously they always have an economic impact on all of us. And if you boil it down, they save us about $300 to $700 each year, each citizen, each household in Macon in tax, because these people come from everywhere else.
They save that money.
They save us, each household.
Wow.
So it very much is vital to the people of Macon and Bibb County that these visitors come to town. And we do that in the form of, like you mentioned, events, meetings, conventions, or even just the folks looking to get away for a weekend.
Right.
And
right.
It's our job to market that and sell that and get those people and their pocketbooks into our economy.
Right. Now, wasn't there an initiative, and I don't know whether CVB sponsored it or not, but I saw something that said, be a visitor in your own hometown. Mm-hmm. Was that sponsored by the convention?
We had a role in programs like that. That's some what we would call homegrown initiatives that we get behind, whether it's launched through our organization or through our local community, whether it's Newtown Macon, Historic Macon, or the Chamber. And that's very vital, because I think a lot of times we're trying to create community pride. And we want people who live here, and I'm a resident homeowner in Macon-Bibb County, and we want to make sure that people know what there is to do in their community.
Well, it's a lot of people who really are not familiar with all of the historical places. And, and even some of the social, spiritual, religious, and economic activities going on in Macon. So I think that it behooves all of us to be familiar with what the CVB does, because, like you said, it saves us money. So how can citizens help in fostering, the activities of the CVB?
Well, I think the first thing, and this is key as far as we're concerned, is be great ambassadors. When you come across, you may be in the grocery store parking lot, and you may see a tag from out of state or another county. If you see that person get out, just say welcome to Macon. That's very easy to do, because people, that's the number one thing a visitor will remember about any trip or experience is their engagement with the local community.
Right.
And so we want people to be positive ambassadors. And if they ask, hey, what is there to do in Macon? That local citizen has 3 or 4 or 5 things that they can say, oh, you have to check this out.
And the other thing, and then correct me if I'm wrong, is they can refer. Now, do you just work with, and we'll talk about the groups and the conventions and the family reunions, but are you a resource for any visitor who comes to Macon?
We are. We have 2 visitor centers, one on I-75 and one downtown, that we cater to the needs of a visitor that might just be stopping in. However, if you have family or friends in the community, we offer tours on the weekends, that if you have a couple of relatives in town that you need them something to do for a couple of hours, we can help you with that.
Wow.
Or you might be saying, well, gosh, I've traveled all over the country for family reunions. I want to host one here in our city.
Now, that's important. Let's take a pen out of that, because a lot of people don't realize, and we talked about that before over lunch. The family reunion thing. Mine's in West Virginia this year.
Sure.
Is a big thing, and I think oftentimes, Gary, that this is a call to action.
It is a call to action.
I'm your host, Alex Habersham, interviewing Gary Wheat, who's the executive director of the Convention and Visitors Bureau. And we were talking about family reunions. I think sometimes individuals are reluctant, to be the host.
Right.
The host family for the family.
Well, it's a lot of work.
I know. But don't you help? I remember referring somebody a couple of years ago.
Sure.
Pamela Jamal, you didn't know her, but she was the representative then. I remember referring somebody, and she was phenomenally helpful to that individual in helping the plan, activities for the family.
And we can do that. We can do a lot of heavy lifting. You may say to yourself, well, I'd like to do it, but that sounds like a lot of work, or I don't even know where to begin. If you reach out to our organization, that we can help you locate a space. We can help you if you need it catered, if you need a hotel to get people from out of town a place to stay. We can help you negotiate that rate. We can find you some activities to do while they're here. So it's a multitude of things that we can offer a local citizen who, like you said, you're going to West Virginia. My family reunion's in Mississippi this year. So I would love to have my family come over and see Macon and what I know of my community.
Well, that's important for the community to know, because I'm sure that somebody listening to us right now, and a lot of people go to family reunions.
Sure.
And a lot of people have probably thought about, well, I sure would like to be the host for it, but they think they have to do, like you said, all of the heavy lifting.
Correct.
Not knowing that there's a resource out there that can assist.
And I will say this: it's a complimentary resource. It's free, and that's the best kind of resource, isn't it? Because we want to engage our local citizens. We're funded through the hotel motel tax. So whenever someone stays in a hotel or a motel here, they pay a tax on their room, and that's how we're funded through a part of that. And that's what we're about, is putting people in those hotels, putting people in our attractions and restaurants.
Okay, so we've talked some about visitors, and that's what, I guess a family reunion would be composed of, people visiting family. Let's talk about conventions.
Oh, yeah.
Let's talk about conventions, and, how are we doing with conventions?
We're doing very well, and as a matter of fact, that's a key component of what we do, is we target those meetings, because I guarantee those that are listening and those that are viewing belong to an association, a fraternal, might even be a church group that has a meeting. And they may have never occurred to them to have their meeting in Macon. And so we help them do that. We have wonderful event space, whether it's the convention center, whether it's one of our hotels, whether it's an off-site. We have lots of historic venues that host meetings. And so we can help put that on, because chances are people travel elsewhere for their state meetings. And if you allow me a moment, one of the big conventions that we have next week coming to town is called the Georgia Society of Association Executives.
Okay.
And those are the meeting planners that plan all these state conventions. and they're all showcasing their 100th anniversary here in Macon.
Now
And
that's a good thing.
Well, that's a very good thing.
You got the people who can bring conventions here.
We've got them all in one group.
Convene in here.
All in
Yeah.
one group.
What, do you want them to come over and speak?
Oh, well, we want all those local ambassadors.
Yeah, well, that's a very, very good thing. And so, I mean, all kinds of organizations. I knew the Jehovah Witness. I remember at one point. Do they still do that?
They still do that. They are doing 2 meetings. They do 2 meetings a year here in Macon. And that just drives our economy so well because they just bring in hundreds and even thousands of people over a period of time.
Yeah, I've seen they fill that Coliseum up, man.
And that helps our tax base. That helps our restaurants and our hotels and our businesses thrive.
Yeah. Now, let's talk a little bit. A lot of people don't realize, what a diamond, if you please,
Sure.
that this community is. Because we've got so many resources. Talk about those positive factors about our community that make your job easy to get people to want to come.
Sure. And there's so much unique about our community. It starts with the citizens, the people. That's what makes Macon unique. And that's what is so inviting to our visitors, is having that local citizenry that's very proud of their community. And that's number one. The second thing is we have all this wonderful culture and history and things that nobody else has. That we encourage people to experience, whether that's our historical culture, whether that's our architecture, our music. So much of that
we need to talk about music. See, a lot of people, Gary, don't realize the role that music has played in making this a known community and an attractive community. You look at the Allman Brothers and, Otis Redding and Little Richard and they don't. A lot of people, Augusta will argue this. James Brown, because James Brown is really from Macon. I mean,
he got his start here, right?
Yeah, he got his start here. So we can claim him as Macon's own too. So the music. So I guess when you're selling Macon and because I think the citizens need to be able to have a conversation with somebody who got an out of town tag. So well, welcome to Macon. The home of where soul lives.
Where soul lives. Where soul lives.
And then they can go ahead and expound on the musical heritage and the historical heritage
and soul means so much to each and every person. And what we want to do is encourage people to share with the visitor what exactly soul is to them. It may be their history. It may be, the musical history. It may be the cultural history.
Yeah,
you just never know.
I really like that theme or that expression. Well, we're going to talk a little bit about your staff and the departments and how to get in touch with you when we come back. We're going to take a break. This is a call to action.
A call to action.
I'm your host, Alex Habish. I'm interviewing Mr. Gary Wheat, the Executive Director of the MaconBibb County Conventions and Visitors Bureau, and we'll be by popular demand, the Black Expo, sponsored by the Macon Middle Georgia Black Pages and premiering the silver anniversary edition of the Black Pages at La Piata in July. See you there. We're back. And Gary is he's neither old enough, nor has he been in Macon long enough to remember that the CVB is located in the old Trailway bus station.
That's right.
On what used to be called Broadway downtown, right downtown on MLK Boulevard. What's that address?
450 Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard.
Yeah, 450 MLK Boulevard. Now, what about if somebody just wanted to? I think one way for one to get educated is just to come to your office and just kind of browse through. The information. I'm sure you got brochures and things of that nature.
Oh boy,
because you don't have to be from out of town to visit the bureau.
That is correct.
And that's one way you can become familiar with what's going on in the community and seek information. If you're interested in sponsoring some kind of family reunion, convention, or other activity, and then to prove, how attractive this community is. I mean, I understand we got some film activity going on in the community.
Well, that's a great point, Alex, and we encourage people to come down to our visitor center anytime. You may just have somebody come in for the evening and you want to take them to dinner. We have all our restaurants available, information on that, and we can help you get in touch with them, make reservations. So I'd stop and see that. And also, a lot of times in my experience, if you're maybe your child is in school and working on a school project about the history of the community, we have a great timeline on the history of Macon.
Right.
And I think that's a wonderful resource for folks that we're trying to learn a little bit more.
And within walking distance of the Tubman, you can go to
You're
the
exactly
CVB,
right. You're exactly right. Georgia Sports Hall of Fame, the Tubman, all right there. Douglas Theater's right there.
Yeah,
so
right there together.
Great resource. So if you're out visiting any of those attractions, stop in our office and one of our information specialists will help you out.
Well, it's kind of impactful.
It is.
To mention those four things together. The Sports Hall of Fame, Convention and Visitors Bureau, the Tubman Museum, and the Douglas Theater. And I think that in and of itself attests, to the fact that there's a lot going on in Macon. Now, I understand we had some celebrities, some stars here, man.
You mentioned that and touched on the film industry, and that's so instrumental and so vital to our economic growth because these film crews, whether it's a TV show like Brockmire or one of the films that's been in town, even since I've been here, we've had a couple of films in town that, and hats off to our Film Macon, which is the organization that works with these groups very much. And then also the Macon Film Festival. I mean, that's coming up this summer. And it's a great event for us.
There's a committee. Is it the Macon Film Commission?
We call it Film Macon. And that's basically our film commission, and they work to bring these movie.
Now is Terrell involved in that?
He is. Terrell does a wonderful job.
Yeah, he
marketing
does,
that
and I see all the tweets and all of that because now let me tell you what I saw the other day. On Twitter, I saw where they are looking for extras.
Oh, sure, sure.
So when
there might be a chance for you to get discovered.
I want to be the star, man.
We'll put you next to The Rock, right?
Speaking of The Rock, I understand he was in town.
They were in town filming, and so that's
Roger
great.
P. Henson, better known as Cookie.
Yeah. They're coming up, and so they're always looking for extras, and then obviously that's a branch of our Macon Film Festival, and Julie and her team do a wonderful job there at the film festival. So that's very important. We had a movie. Margot Robbie of Celebrity was here not too long ago, a few months ago, filming. So we've had
and Clint Eastwood came to town.
That's right. And Harrison Ford. You wouldn't be surprised if you walking around our community to see a celebrity.
Well, see, I think people too often don't realize. Well, that supports the attractability of our hometown.
Sure.
In our area of Central Georgia. And so I think that, and plus it helps to improve the morale and the knowledge because if you can boast and say, well, I'm from Central Georgia, specifically Macon, Georgia.
Yeah.
And then all of these good things that are going. Matter of fact, to Roger B. Henson and The Rock and a lot of stars come to Macon because it's so attractive and we have so many things going on for us. So
I'll give you an example, Alex. I had a visitor call me the other day from Iowa saying, hey, can you help me? I'm coming to town. Can you help me get to the Rookery? Because I understand Harrison Ford said it's one of the best hamburgers he's ever had. So that speaks to what we have here, not only from a cultural standpoint, but from the food.
Right, it does.
And I like to eat.
Not to mention what Oprah, you weren't here at the time, but she went to New Way.
That's right.
She had a hot dog in New Way, so that was very, very important too. Now, talk a little bit about your staff in your divisions. And,
sure.
And who one should contact.
Right.
If they want help in different areas.
Sure.
Besides you, I know you always.
Well, I'm always available, and I love to talk to our citizens and our visitors and interact with them. But I think the standpoint of we've got three areas that we focus on within our organization, and that's our sales side, and that's who brings in those conventions and those reunions. We have a marketing side that takes our message out into the world in advertising, and then we have our our leisure, our tourism department that works on bringing the bus groups here and handles our tours and our visitor centers.
We haven't even talked about
and we haven't even touched on that, and that's a major part of what we do. So those are the people, and then we have a wonderful website at visitmacon.org. I would encourage people to go there and get a look-see of what we're all about.
Well, now let's talk about how to contact.
Sure.
You say it's located at
450 Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard,
formerly known as Broadway.
Mm-hmm.
And then how about the website and the contact number?
Sure. Visitmacon.org is our website. It's a wonderful, wonderful website with a lot of detail. So even if you just need a place to go eat, check out our website. And then obviously you can give us a call at 478-743-1074 is our main number. And that'll walk you through and tell you how to get in touch with who you need to get in touch with, even if it's me.
All right. They can even get the executive director. Okay, we'll be right back to wrap things up. This is a call to action.
A call to action.
I'm your host, Alex Habersham. I'm having a great time interviewing Mr. Gary Wheat, executive director of the MaconBibb County Convention and Visitors Bureau. And it's called that because it deals with conventions and visitors. That doesn't make me smart. That just means I can read. We'll be right back. Backed by popular demand, the Macon, Middle Georgia Black Pages Expo. And we're going to premiere the silver anniversary edition of the Macon, Middle Georgia Black Page, the historical premiere of the silver anniversary edition. So think now. You want to be a part of this expo, and more information is available at www.maconblackpages.com. We're back. I'm your host, Alex Habersham, of A Call to Action community talk show. We've been doing this for quite some time, and I'm always very excited because I get the opportunity to interview people like Gary Wheat, who comes to us from Mr. Yippee, like Mississippi. That's how we used to say it when I was a boy. And, I'm so honored to be able to do this show with the assistant Platinum AVP, Andrea and Trace Trump, who are my videographers. And, they come in and assist us in doing this show and projecting information, important information, to the community as evidence, by this show that we're having, because, there's so much going on in Macon, and part of our mission and our objective is to familiarize the community with all of the good things, because we want everybody to feel good. And that's why our colleges and universities are doing so well. And as quiet as it's kept, there's a role that CVB can play as it relates to that. Parents coming to town, kids, coming to college. Talk a little bit about that.
Sure, and we have a lot of involvement with our educational partners, whether that's the MaconBibb school systems, our colleges, Mercer, Middle Georgia, Wesleyan, Central Georgia Technical, and all of our educational partners are critical, because we see it as we play a part in the community.
Right.
And that's economic development. Right. And that's showcasing not only to potential students that may be coming here, but their families.
Right.
Because
if somebody's going to come and pick the kids up, if they knew about the CVB,
sure,
they might want to come a day or two early.
Exactly.
Stay in a hotel and learn more about the community in which, their kids are living.
And what's the first thing you do when you're going to a new place, to whether it's go to school or you're sending your kids to school? You look up the community.
Right.
And we're one of the landing spots that they look up, whether it's our website.
Right.
And so we always want to be that best foot forward for our community.
Right.
And so that's critical. And then we, also work in programs like our I Am Macon program that educates local businesses, and citizens can take that and come in and learn about Macon.
Wow.
And what a visitor
might see.
Talk a little
bit about that.
It's a program that we do, and it's a 3-hour program. So we take you on an hour tour on our bus. We have our own tour bus, and we'll take you around with a tour guide and show you the historical and significant features of our city. And then we'll sit down, we'll talk a little bit about how to engage those visitors. and how to practice good customer service skills.
So if you take that when you see out of town tag, you'll be running
That's
to the
right.
car,
That's
knocking
right.
on the
We're
window.
creating.
Hey, let me tell you about Macon.
Right,
you know?
we're creating ambassadors,
Yeah,
and that's what we want to do. So that's a wonderful program that we've launched
that's
last
outstanding.
year. And
Now, is that on your website?
Yes, you can find out information on
Give
iMacon.
that website again.
Visit Macon.org.
Visit Macon.org.
That's a great resource.
Now, I heard you said something about buses. You know, I
Sure.
thought buses only came during Cherry Blossom.
Well, you know, we did have about 39 buses come for Cherry Blossom, and we were moving them in and out.
Right.
But we have buses come throughout the year.
Oh,
And,
wow.
and they come for whether it's an architectural tour of some of our churches and our history, like the Hay House or Cannonball House. We have that, or you know, it may just be a group that wants to look at the surrounding area. They may be going to Milledgeville, but they stay in Macon, and we call it hub and spoke out of
Right,
here. So we act as a hub for the Antebellum Trail and things like that, where people come and tour. So bus business is year round for us.
Right. Well, that's so very, very important. And to be perfectly honest with you, I'm very proud of this community. I'm proud of all of the resources and all the exciting things that it offers, and I'm proud of CVB. You know,
thank
and I want the community to become very, very familiar with, you know, because a lot of people don't know. Sometimes I take for granted.
Sure.
And I tend to forget, you know, just the myriad of resources that are available at the MaconBibb County conventions and visits. Any other way the community can help you? Anything you want to mention to the community?
Well, I think just from the standpoint of, as we mentioned, you know, have that community pride, and there really is lots to do here. And let us help you entertain your visitors, or let us help you engage our visitors to the community, because they have a choice in where they go visit, and whether that's for a meeting or just for the weekend. And, you know, they're very valuable to our economy, and we want to show them that appreciation, because, again, that's the number one thing they remember is how they interact with the local citizens and the local businesses. And so we want to be a resource.
And visitors save us money.
They do
and
save
make
money.
us
That's
money.
right.
You know,
That's right.
A lot of people work in all of these industries. Well, I really, really appreciate, you know, you're coming in and familiarizing the community with MaconBibb Convention and Visitors Bureau, and I just encourage everybody to go to visit Macon.org and look at the website. Not only that, go down to 450 MLK.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, go down to 450 MLK and see what's going on at the MaconBibb County Conventions and Visitors Bureau. This is a call to action.
Call to action.
I'm your host, Alex Habersham. Have a great day. Next time.
Thank you.
www.maconblackpages.com